guys, we've got more amazing tutors that have made it into our 4-figure-a-month club. Yes! You know, so many people wonder, is online tutoring a sustainable business? And today, I'm going to be featuring tutors that they are making it a sustainable business and they're getting great results with their students. So I am so honored to welcome our very first person. We've got 6 people we're featuring today, you guys. Isn't that amazing? Our first one is Anna Martin. Anna is a Greek and Latin tutor. If you ever said, hey, that sounds Greek to me, well, Anna can help you. And Anna, over the last 3 months, has been making over $2,500 a month. Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I am very pleased myself. Yeah, because I don't even work full-time at the moment.
Right.
I work many hours, but I don't have a full-time routine during my day. I have time to also be with my children and do all my shopping and cooking and everything else that comes in life. So it's a great solution for me.
It is. Yeah. And are you also homeschooling your kids as well?
No, they go to school,
okay.
But the little one is 3, so he only goes a few hours in the morning. So at 1 p.m. he's at home, and then I stop tutoring until they go to bed, and then at 7 p.m. I start tutoring again for the evening. So I have students all over the world.
Don't you love that?
I love that.
And so then you've been able to really make it work with your family, your lifestyle, the hours that you want to be able to work, along with balancing your family and those expectations as well.
Yeah, indeed. And also it is quite interesting to be hopping from continent to continent during the day. So I generally start my day off with Japanese people or people who are based in Japan or somewhere in Asia. And then in the evening, I have more people in the Americas. Late afternoon, I also have people in the United Kingdom. Saturday morning, United Kingdom. So it's a variety. It's really interesting to see what they do in different places.
It really is.
Having a chat. Yeah,
it is. And you've been with our community for a long time.
It feels quite long, I guess, since it been since Feb. I think I started, it was my 2020 resolution to get the business started, I think. And then things changed a lot in the world.
They did.
But I still did, and it actually worked quite well for me. So
now, did you start with Jumpstart or did you start with the Insider Secrets Club?
I started with Jumpstart.
I
did the Jumpstart program, and it really propelled me. Like in 2 months I was like, oh, I have my own business. I would have never said that. Like I would never have thought I would be able to keep all the invoices in place and my calendar that people can book themselves into. I have my terms and conditions. I have an advertising strategy, marketing, people to network with. It was fantastic.
And then you decided to keep learning with us, and you decided to join the Insider Secrets Club. Why did you make that decision?
It's a matter of value for me, because you do all the courses plus now the masterminds, which were not there when I started, but they are now there. So I'm already getting from it much more than I've put in, to be fair. It's great value. Yeah.
You know, it's so funny because a lot of tutors, I took 2 tutors with me last week, and they really didn't, I think sometimes tutors don't realize like how much this kind of stuff really costs, like business, you know, coaching, all of that kind of stuff. Right. And it was going to cost $25,000 to be part of a mastermind that was a group class type of mastermind, right? $25,000. And, you know, we don't have those kinds of price tags attached to what we do, because I know my audience. I know who you guys are, and I really care about you guys being able to continue your education, to learn how to be able to grow your tutoring business. So now, like Jumpstart, like gets you started. You get like all those basic pieces, but then what are some of the things that you've been able to learn and use in your business as being a part of the Insider Secrets Club?
Well, I would have never thought I would publish a book. And I've actually now published 2. Right, it's 2 versions of the same story, but it's twice that I've been publishing something online. And that all came from one of your courses, the one, what was it, like turn content into a book in a weekend?
Yep.
Well, it didn't take me a weekend because it wasn't content that I already had, but you gave me the idea and the support and the belief that I could do that. And it worked really well.
Yes. And so now you guys can find her books on Amazon. What's the name of your book?
Well, it has two names. The Catalan name is En Patufet, which means the little one. And that one is in Catalan and English. And then I have a Latin version of it. And I've chosen the title Parvulus, which I think translates very well for Patufet.
I love it. I love it. And, continuing to network, I feel like with other tutors who are in the same space, not necessarily tutoring the same thing, but they're in the same space as you, right? Like they're running their own business, they're tutoring, they're doing all these other things, right? Networking, I feel like, is pivotal to just continuing to stay like excited, inspired, and then also just be able to make connections with other people. What is your experience with that been?
Yeah, that has been a great experience as well. Like, I can be sitting at my desk at 11 p.m. after I've been tutoring and I'm preparing something for the following day. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how that works with my Wix website. And I just plug it there in the Inside the Secrets Club, and somebody at some point will reply and say, oh, I also had that problem, and then I fixed it like this. Or, oh, that's where you look to fix that problem. So I found the fast problem solving very, very useful. And sometimes it's giving as well. You just go there and you see people who are a bit newer, and you can tell them, oh, I've been using Wix and this is how I do it, etc. Advice. It is a great community. It works really well. And in particular, like the mastermind that I'm doing at the moment, I'm doing the blogging mastermind. And my blog was desert. It was like dead territory for a while. I just couldn't get myself to write blog posts because I was working a lot, and it is quite it takes a lot of energy out of you to get yourself blogging on your own.
Yeah.
And with the mastermind, that's put me back on track, and I've managed. On the first 4 weeks, I already have my blog post ready, and now I have a strategy that I'm going to follow, and I'm quite confident that with these weekly sessions, by the time I finish this mastermind, I'll be right on track.
I love it. And it really like gets you like in the mode of writing, because our weeks fly by. We were just talking about this before, we went live with you guys, because Anna has, how many kids do you have? Do you have 3?
Well, I have 2 and a cat.
2 and a cat.
Husband.
2 and a cat and a husband.
A lot of work. The cat and the husband, they work as well. The kids.
I love it. Yeah. So you've got kids, and you've got, you're managing all of this, and it's so easy to just let these strategies that work to be able to get you found. It's easy just to kind of forget about them, and then they sit, and then we don't do anything. So do you feel like it's given you like accountability and support?
Yes, exactly. And also it keeps me developing, because I think if I wasn't in the insider group and in the mastermind, when I am full, I might be less likely to push myself and say, okay, I'm full, but I want to keep developing my business.
Right.
I want to maybe think about group lessons. I want to think about something different. And that would not probably be happening if it wasn't for the Insider Secrets Club. I would have stayed where I was with my one-to-ones. I'm fully booked, I'm pleased. But then when you're with a group of individuals who are highly motivated and you're seeing what they're doing, you just want to be with them and be able to share the energy and the momentum and create new things.
That group synergy. And that's what we begin to create inside of Jumpstart, is that group synergy, right? And the group synergy definitely continues inside of the insiders, because you get to see, oh my gosh, well, she was able to do that, and she's got these things going on. Certainly I can do that. Like we've got like Elaine Lingard, right? Who's like, she's got an in-person tutoring business, an online tutoring business. She's got 3 kids, and she's got she was going to like school full time, still writing blog posts, and like she was like fitting it in. Like she would like schedule it, like for this 15 minutes I'm going to write, and she was able to like still pull out like a blog post or 2, each week. And it's like, holy cow, like you just start realizing what's possible. Like if they can do it, I can do it. You know, and that's amazing. So I'm so glad. You always add so much value too to our community and our group. And I love when I get to see your face coming on in, and I love even more when you get to share your stories of how you're making it work. Now, you've also done some group classes without school as well.
Yes, I still have them ongoing at the moment. I quite like having the two different spaces, one for my one-to-one and one for my group lessons. I think in the future I might start offering my own group lessons, but what I like about Outschool is that I can get people that I would not necessarily reach on my own because they have their own pool of clients, and create courses that are very original. It's not like exam courses. Sometimes I do like food, or let's talk about Latin Christmas, or short introductions, tasters to get people going. And I find that very excited. I also have a club, and people come and go. So some people have been in my club forever, others come and go every now and again, and I start new clubs. And it's great because we do, like, I don't know, one day we made a Roman oil lamp with clay. Then another week we will be dressing up in a toga, and then 2 weeks later we'll be reading some Homer. So it's a lot of variety, and it gives me a lot of space to get people engaged with the subject. My subject has a really bad reputation for being boring, but let me tell you, my subject is not boring. Yeah.
So you get people really excited and on board with being able to really want to learn Latin and learn Greek and all of that great stuff. I love it. And so what do you have behind you there? You love changing your backgrounds. I love it.
Yes, I do change my backgrounds quite often. Today, I'm so sorry, it's doing a bit of it's going green at times. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you gotta stay still.
I have a theater. It's a Roman theater, and when I ask my students, and I have these backgrounds, like, where am I? And they're all straight away, in Rome, in Pompeii. It's like, no, I'm not there. This is in Spain, in southern Spain. This is a town where the retired military settled after their long careers, and they were given some land, and they had all the amenities. It's a beautiful place to visit in Spain, and not very well known. So
yes.
I always like to take people around the least famous parts of the empire, because they are also very interesting.
Well, and I think what's interesting, like how you like change your backgrounds, is you use it as a teaching moment as well.
Yes.
And it gets them like involved and engaged like right away. And these are things that other tutors might not even think to do. Like, how could you use your background as a teaching space, guys? Because I mean, how awesome is that? It starts off the conversation, but yet it's on topic, right? It's on topic with what it is a lot of times. And you're from Spain, and so they get to get a little bit of a Spanish, history. You live in, where do you live? You're in the UK right now, right?
I am in London. I live right by the River Thames. Very British, everything, but I am originally from Spain, and in my home we speak 3 different languages. So yeah, it's a lot of variety.
All right. So what languages do you speak in your home?
So I speak Catalan with my children, and Spanish and English with my children. Well, not with my children, but my children and my husband speak English, and I speak English to my husband. And then with my parents, I speak Spanish, and my children are also learning Spanish, which I'm teaching them. So yeah, that's the 3 languages.
I love
I have little
that.
Trilingual children. They're quite cute.
They're going to be polyglots. They're going to have like this love.
Sometimes I think, like, how can they speak like that already? What have I created? It's really good. It's lovely to see how they engage with languages. Now my daughter has started doing Italian in school, and she's like, it's so easy. It's like the same as Catalan. It's like, well, yeah, the more languages you learn, the easier the process becomes as well.
For sure. It's almost like you're training your brain to be able to see the patterns of other languages so that you'll be able to speak them. It's kind of, I love
and
that's awesome.
The phonological awareness, everything is like, it's a muscle that you're using all the time when you're switching between languages.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. So if you struggled with learning one language, don't worry. You're going to struggle with learning one language, but learning a second language kind of gets easier.
Yes, definitly.
Yeah, because then you can apply.
My students are like, they say, "Oh, I don't know if I should start with ancient Greek, because I really like Greek mythology." Don't we all? I say, I really like Greek mythology. I love to learn ancient Greek, but I find Latin so challenging already. It's taking me so much time, and I just say, well, you get 2 for the price of 1 there if you start Greek, because the effort you're putting into one, you get to use for the other one. Yeah. So yeah.
That's amazing. And how did you
Language
decide?
learning is a skill in itself.
How did you decide that you were going to go with Latin and Greek?
That was a really long time ago. It goes back to when I was in school. And as a child, I was quite obsessed with Indiana Jones movies, which now obviously is not the best example of an archaeologist acting in a morally acceptable way. But at the time, it was so exciting for me. He could speak Sanskrit. He could read hieroglyphs. He knew Greek. He knew Latin. I was fascinated and I wanted to be like him. And so that's what I did. I just did a classics degree. It wasn't as glamorous as in the movies, but it was still a lot of fun. And I've gotten to travel around the world quite a lot. So I'm quite pleased with the result.
So for people that have gone through, the Jumpstart program and now they're considering, do I make the leap? Do I continue learning with the Insider Secrets Club? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would say make the leap. If you're serious about your business and you want this to be not just like a side hustle where you do some lessons here and there, if you want this to be your business, you need a community to thrive in. It's lonely on your own. And I think the ideas and the training that you're going to get in the Insiders is invaluable. If you enjoyed the Jumpstart, which I think most people do. I don't know anyone who said, I did the Jumpstart and I was like really bad. I've never known anyone saying that. If you really enjoyed the Jumpstart, you're signing yourself up for months of that. So the journey is just starting.
Yeah, it really is just starting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is just starting. Now that you have the basic pieces in place, now you're ready to continue the journey and continue with a group of people that are serious about running their business. It's not people that are, they're just kind of like tapping their toe into the water and kind of feeling it. And they're just I don't know. This is for me.
You need to jump.
You need to jump. Jump in the water.
First in the water. Yeah.
Jump in the water. Keep joining us, you guys, because it's going to be an amazing journey for you just to keep that momentum going. I think it's so easy. Like you said, like you get, like some people, they get book solid. And then when you get book solid, it's really hard to keep the momentum going on all the other pieces, the marketing and all of that. But to have a community who's continuing to keep you on your toes, I think can be so pivotal. Now, there's some people that are like, I'm just going to take the stuff that I've learned in Jumpstart and process it before I go into the Insider Secrets Club. What would you say to them?
I would say it's not the best idea, because if you're not going forward, you're going backwards. In life, you want to be moving things forward. If it stays stagnant, I know it's really good to sleep over decisions overnight. And let things in the background while you're doing something else, but not to do anything.
Right.
I don't think is the best strategy. I think you want to be moving forward.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, they think that they're going to go back and like try to like put everything in place and do all of that. But it's just like something that we say, and then we just kind of get lost in the shuffle.
I have to say, the steps I took during the Jumpstart, I took them in the moment. And once I had the process in place, that was great. But I haven't been going through my Jumpstart things very often. I mean, I used them and they were very useful to get my website going, to get my adverts in Nextdoor going, to get my flyers going with Canva, everything. But I'm not now going back to all the information from the Jumpstart. I'm at a different level now. Right. And I'm using the resources that we have in the Insider Secrets Club.
Yeah, because we take you to the whole next level.
And the courses. Well, yes, recently we went through our websites again. And it was such a different way of looking at my website now that I've been in business for a year. Things that I had not seen before, I've been seeing in my website. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Being able to share your story and all of that great stuff. I really, really appreciate it. And, keep doing it, my friend. You are on a journey and you are now officially in the 4-Figure a Month Club. Woo! I love it.
Thank you.
Awesome. So thanks for joining us, Anna.
So, bye, everyone.
Bye.
See you soon.
And
thanks for having me.
yes, you bet. We've got Adele who is in the house. Adele just recently about, not even a full year ago, left her teaching job and is now tutoring online with reading, and she's bringing in $36, $38, $3,700 each month, like just ongoing in that realm, just ready to just kickstart it into a whole new level and making some awesome leaps in her business. So we are officially welcoming Adele to the 4-Figure a Month Club. Woo! Yay! Awesome, Adele. That's so exciting.
It's so exciting, and even better yet, in the next couple months, I'll be at 4K and really close to 5K, like by the end of December.
Nice.
So my next goal is to try to push it up there, see if I can get to 5K by December.
I love it. You absolutely can. I mean, there's so many kids right now that are struggling. I'm just seeing so many kids. It really around that that first and second grade level. That
those are our favorite to teach too. You and me.
I know they are, and they've just seriously they're struggling because they didn't get the type of instruction, or they didn't have the attention to sit in front of a computer. Right.
Exactly.
And be able to learn. And so unfortunately their learning suffered, and we get to be like those little superheroes that come on in and save the day.
On up.
Woo! Yeah. Which is awesome. And so what motivated you to become a tutor in the first place, Adele?
Honestly, it was so random, to be real. I started tutoring through school. So 2020, that summer, I was an ESOL teacher in the my school district in my area where I live, and they randomly offered ESOL tutoring. So being an ESOL teacher, I finagled my way in there and started having tutoring sessions, and we did group tutoring. So we called the parents, we talked to parents about what the sessions would be like, and told them this is the schedule, here's the login, all of that jazz. So when that finished up, I was like, I kind of like this. And when I finished up, one of the parents wanted to talk to me about how her son progressed. So I talked to her, and it turned out that he was not in my school, so I could continue tutoring him. So we continued tutoring into the fall. And so like August 1st, 2020, that was my first student. And then as I told some other teachers, like, I started tutoring, I think this is really fun. If you have anybody that you want to tutor, I was just totally doing it for fun. Something that I think what it did too was it kind of brought a little bit of my joy back to teaching.
Yes.
Because I had been every teacher after the spring of 2020 was majorly burnt out, but I feel like I had been burnt out for years before that, and like didn't really realize until everyone was saying, oh, I want to go back with my students, I miss my students. And I'm like, huh? You do? Like, I missed my students, but I did not want to go back to the building.
Yeah.
Not anything about a pandemic, not anything about any of that. I just thought, like, this is so much better for me.
Yes.
So that's where it started.
And then when did you join Jumpstart?
I joined Jumpstart that fall.
Okay.
Because I had in my mind that this might be my last year teaching. That was like the 2020-2021 school year. And I thought, okay, maybe I could just at least get something else going so I have some extra income, so that when I quit, I won't just be like incomeless. Right. I never honestly thought of it to be something that I could go on and progress and make my full-time job.
Yeah. Right. And you can, and you're going to, at some point, you'll be making more money than your teaching job.
Yeah, I'm getting closer. So I was looking at the numbers, and minus the cost of all the stuff, I've replaced my first 8 years, which is not even much to say because I was in the lowest paying county in the state of Maryland.
Oh my gosh.
And we hadn't even gotten a raise because I started teaching in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the year like when there was like a shortage, not because they had a shortage of teachers, but a shortage of funds. Like everything was frozen. It was the economy crash year. And so I like got in before everybody else had to be subs. So when I started teaching that year, my salary was more because I got a signing bonus. And then my second year, my salary was less because the signing bonus was gone. My rent was going up, and like, it was just always this like chasing, you know, it was always just chasing after like, how do I get there? How do I get there? But anyways, so now I have replaced what my salary equivalent was in my like 8th year teaching. So I'm working my way up.
Wow. How awesome is that? That's incredible. And a lot of people wonder, like, can this be like a sustainable business, right? But that just shows that not only is it sustainable, it's thriving.
Right. It's sustainable. It's paying my part of the bills for our household. And it's taking care of what we need. And honestly, it's also taking care of my mental health. I really had to quit. My mental health was taking a toll. And although we're there for the children, you can't be there for the kids if you're not there for yourself.
It's so true. It's so true. And I love, like, I'm just like you. Like, as soon as I started teaching online, one-on-one, I fell in love with teaching again. I'm like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is like a real profession. This isn't just a side hustle anymore. Like, that's why. And I think that's why, you guys, I'm going to announce it because you guys have chosen our new name. Our new name is, are you ready? Drum roll. All right. Our drum roll. It was probably not as cool as it could have been, but that's okay. Our new name is the Professional Freelancing Educators.
Oh, I like that.
Right? Because that's what we do, right? We're starting our own freelancing business, right? It's not like a lot of us are hiring like a lot of people underneath us, a tutor. Yeah. We're the type of people that we just want to do what we love. And a lot of us don't want to just have all the extra headaches of managing other people under us. We just really love the teaching part. And so we get to do that.
So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have an 8 a.m. student. That's my earliest one. And after I have him, I kind of have like this huge block of when I'm like, can plan like my content and like all kinds of other things before I tutor again in the afternoon. And some days I'm like, why did I keep him? Because I'm getting up a lot of times in my work from home gear, you know, dressed on the top, pajamas on the bottom, coffee on the side. And but honestly, he's better than coffee. I was thinking about this today. Just interacting with him, and he's always so cheerful and on top of it and willing to learn that that's why I get up, because I know I'm going to meet with my kid at 8 and I'm going to have a great time with him. And then I'm going to be pumped to do all the rest of my things.
Yes, I know. And when that gets to be what we live, that gets to be the life that we live, we feel so fulfilled with what we're doing. You know, and we get to like pinch ourselves every day that like, this is what I get to do again today. Yay. Woo. This is fun. Like, we don't have to have that Sunday night dread anymore, right? Did you ever have that?
No more Sunday scaries. I actually talked about that in my email list this week. I don't have any more Sunday scaries.
Yeah.
Now that I have all my systems, I have my niche, I have my systems, I have everything that I need to get myself going. It's just, now it's just keep the train going.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And so then you decided after Jumpstart to join the Insider Secrets Club. What made you decide to join?
I noticed it was a little bit smaller than the Ultimate Support Group. And that's kind of where I did get a lot of my first ever like tutoring questions answered when I was first thinking, how do I make this a business? How do I find strangers to tutor, you know, versus the people that I have connections with? So I knew other people within that would have already gone through the Jumpstart. So I already have the same mindset. And if they're paying money to join that, they're going to be hustling too. So I wanted people that were like-minded and with a similar background that I can dig into with. Yeah.
Right, because otherwise you're taking advice from like the advice that some people will give you. Like, you have advice that will be completely clashing advice, but when everybody kind of kind of mentored in the same direction, it does really help with the clarity of what should I listen to, what shouldn't I listen to? Because in the beginning, we don't know.
You don't, and you hear 100,000 different things, because you can run your business the way you want to run your business. It's yours. You're the CEO. You're the solopreneur. You can do whatever you want to do. And you'll hear 6 different ways to do the same different thing. If you post on there, well, how do I take payments? Well, there's Stripe. Well, there's Zelle. Well, I only take checks. Well, I only take cash. Well, I use these apps. And you have to, it's easier to piece it apart with people who kind of like, have working their business, and that you have a trust factor because of that.
Yeah. And then there's also like that if you want sustainability, if you want something that you can continue to sustain without getting burned out, you need to have certain systems in place. And if you're going to be doing Zelle transactions, you're going to be chasing your money. Like, you have to realize like how little it actually is to take a payment through PayPal or Stripe when you realize you don't have to hire a secretary or, a money manager to, an accountant to be able to do all of that stuff for you. Like, it's super cheap. And, if it's too much money for you, raise your prices. You're not charging enough. If that's what you're messing around with.
Exactly what I had to do this fall too. That's how I increased my earnings. Mm-hmm. I had my first $1,000 4K 4-figure month.
Yes.
The words are jumbled. I had my first 4-figure month in January, and I only started in August.
Yeah.
And then as I kept going on, I got more training, and I felt more confident, honestly, in myself and what I offered and my value that I give to my families and students. I raised my prices. And then this fall, being my first year in business completely, I raised my prices across the board, knowing that that's what I needed to do to make this sustainable for me. Mm-hmm. And I was terrified I was going to lose some of my faithful parents, but you know what happened was I didn't. A couple people backed down an hour, but then I got 2 new students, and it all balanced out. So now I'm working less hours and making more money because I put everything in place the way I needed to, and I had the confidence to do that.
I love that. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Congratulations on where you're at inside of your business and what you're accomplishing. For people that are on the fence with should I move into the Insider Secrets Club, what would you suggest to them?
Oh, I would say if you're looking to it, I've suggested to other tutors that I know to look into it too, even if they hadn't done the jump start, because they were looking for a community of tutors to bounce ideas off of, that it's a great place if you're an established tutor to find other people that are established to work with and to have. Everyone needs a sounding board. So a great place to have the sounding board.
And we're all there to support each other. So it's not like we're in competition with each other. No, we can only take on so many students.
Everyone on the playground.
There really is, because look, I can only take on 10, 20 students, and how many kids are there in the world that need tutoring, right? So
exactly, right.
We can be a community and a people. Thank you so much, Adele. I know you're busy, so I'm going to let you head on out. And we are going to be featuring Linda Leichenstein. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so exciting, okay? Because Linda has been one of those people that has been with me since the beginning. All right, I'm talking beginning. Like when I was first started teaching people how to do this stuff, she was there. I think you took my very first Tutorpreneur course that I had.
I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I mean, and not version 2.0, because I took my Tutorpreneur and I turned it into a 2.0. Yep. She was with 1.0, Tutorpreneur, raw footage.
Yeah, I had it all.
And did you at some point also join Jumpstart as well?
I believe I did, yes.
Because you guys have to understand this whole entire how this all worked out, because she joined our Tutorpreneur program, which I started in 2012, 13.
Something like that,
Yep, 2013 is when you joined. I had just released it and started creating it, I think, in 2012. And in 2013, I was releasing it out for people to actually join. And then she became part of the Insider Secrets Club when that changed names. And then you ended up also going into Jumpstart at one point as well, when I divorced, not necessarily divorced, but I like pulled apart because our insiders was at a certain level of conversation that newcomers coming on in were leaving left and right because they didn't understand what we were talking about. And I realized at that point, I need to get back to basics. I need to bring it down a level to really teach people the basics, and then they can come and join our Insider Secrets Club where they understand it all. And you've kind of been through that entire journey with me.
Yes.
So thank you for sticking with me as as my learning curve was going around and helping people. So tell us about your tutoring business that you have, Linda.
Okay, well, I now have 10 students.
Woo!
And pushing for 14 this week. I have 4 more, and now I'm figuring out, how do I fit them all in?
Yes.
Because the prime time is between 4 and 8. They all
Yes.
want that time.
Yes.
So I'm sort of, now I have a couple that they sort of like canceled last week. And then I have somebody who has to pay by tomorrow, but she hasn't contacted me. So I'm sort of just deciding, where are they going? How are they serious or not?
Yeah.
So let's see. This background is thankful to Joanne. She gave us one of these Zoom backgrounds, so I'm now using that instead of the bed that you would see behind me. But now there is no bed behind me. So that was a big plus, because it definitely looks a lot better. The students I have now, I have one that's 17 years old who's dyslexic, I believe. And he's reading basic words, cat, hat. I was doing an kind of a progress report to see how he was doing. And I was using an Orton Gillingham using, colored tiles. And I was having him say, all right, I'm going to give you 2 words, ag, ig. And he could not tell that the second word changed sound in the first time. So I'm really trying to find the right program for him. I'm not sure if that's the right one. I may do something foundation in sounds. I may do that. And then I have other ones that some are vocabulary and spelling based. So I have a mixture of students. I don't have just all struggling readers. I have some that are, one had to repeat first grade because of COVID. She was in kindergarten, then she got put to first grade, and then she couldn't read basic words. Now she's really pulling along, and we're doing blends, and I'm like, this is great. She's like, why are you so excited? I said, because you're getting it, because one time I was in the lesson, I'm like, yeah. And they're like, why are you, she didn't understand why I was so excited. I'm like, because you're getting it. Yeah. So, but yeah, so and now I'm at the point, as I said yesterday, that I'm almost at a waiting list, but I'm like, do I have a waiting list, or do I sort of just push them? I sort of because I'm getting inquiries almost every day now. Yeah. Some are referrals, but it's interesting though. When I first started, I did in person, even before I met you, Joanne. I did in person, and I did Wyzant, and I had 3 students, and I went in person, and it was in my town. I'm like, this is great, and then they all just stopped. And I didn't have a contract with them. So that was another thing that you told us about, that you said, have a contract, because what I have now is if you want to stop tutoring for 2 weeks or any length of time, you have to give me 2 weeks notice. And I have that in the contract. Yeah. And I also say that you have to pay in advance. I mean, all these things that I didn't do, that I learned from you, that I had to pay in advance. And now I take Zelle and Venmo, and some of them pay bi-weekly and some of them monthly, but it's okay as long as it's in advance. I'm okay.
Yeah.
With that. I mean, I know it's a little more paperwork that way, but I'm just, I still have a few that aren't my ideal client, but I'm able to work with it. But I'm still trying to find that niche, because it's sort of autism spectrum. They're not always good online. So I sort of have a few different types of students.
Right. Right. And you also, you have a son with a disability, which actually kind of motivated you to work with certain kinds of students. Like you have and you have a special ed background as well, right?
Well, I have an ESC certificate. I don't have an actual degree in it, but I have a lot of hands-on, let's say, experience
Yeah,
with that type of student. Yes.
for sure.
But I'm getting a lot of parents who are like, oh, they're having so many people. I don't know. I live in Florida now. I used to live in New York. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm just getting an influx of people. I don't know if it's because of the COVID, and also the only good thing about COVID was that it got people to think, yeah, Zoom could work,
Yeah.
because now they're all familiar with Zoom. And it's like, oh, this could. So now when I say online, it's okay. Before it was like, well, I don't know. So that was a good thing. So the only good thing out of COVID was that it actually made my business better.
It did make it a lot easier. Yeah. And what I always tell people, they're like, well, I think my kid will do better with like in person versus, online. I just say, you know what? You might be right. But let's just try the assessment online and just see how it goes. And if they really aren't a good fit, then, then if this isn't a good fit for your child, because I respect that, then, we'll part ways and you can find another tutor that will be a better fit. So, and usually they try it out and they love it and they're like, okay, yeah, this is different than the schooling that they had, like virtual schooling and tutoring. They are a completely different beast in and of themselves. Mm-hmm. They're not exactly the same, but I just want to personally congratulate you on making it this big inside of your business, bringing in those 4 figures every single month and being able to bring in the income you want to be able to bring in, helping the kids that you want to serve. You are making a huge difference, Linda. You are rocking it. What would you say to anybody who's joined Jumpstart and is now thinking about insiders? What would you say to them?
I would say that this is a fabulous group to bounce ideas off of. I mean, I've asked so many questions. I don't usually have a lot to contribute yet, but I have a lot of questions that I ask. And I think there's no better person to ask than someone who's actually doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that's the whole key. Like you could say, oh yeah, I do that. But are you doing it now? If you're not doing it now, or if they haven't no idea what you're talking about, then it's not really the right person to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks again for joining us,
Sure.
Linda. You are a rock star. And up next is Esme Lozano. Woo woo! And you guys, Esme and I got to hang out last week and we got to have some pretty awesome chats. And we went to an amazing conference. We got to see Tony Robbins, which she had never thought that Tony Robbins was going to be as amazing as he totally was. So I've turned her into a Tony Robbins fan.
You did.
But Esme, you guys, she is one of the coaches here on our team. And, here's the thing. When I bring on coaches, I don't just bring on coaches, okay? I bring on coaches who've been through it. They've been through the program, they've worked the program, and they continue to work the program afterwards. And so Esme is now bringing on in 4 figures a month. And this is her time to shine in her family. She's been a homeschool mom for the life of your kids?
Forever. 25 years. 25 years. Yeah.
25 years, you guys, a homeschool mom. And now she is helping other kids with reading and doing some pretty awesome stuff. And your first experience with our community was Jumpstart. Tell us about that experience for you.
Well, I was tutoring online, in person. So I was driving 15 hours to clients' homes. Didn't know much about business then. I was not charging rates that would provide that convenience of me driving to their home. So 15 hours of my life were spent driving because I live in the Dallas area. So everything's a commute. And the pandemic hit and everything came to a total halt. And here I had, 15 hours of tutoring that I would do weekly as well. And so I decided to figure out how could I move my students from in person to online. And so I stumbled upon your videos and I started to binge watch, and you give a lot of free information. So I started to apply some of the things, and I started to think okay, I was able to move my students online, but could this be a sustainable business? Because clearly right away I realized I could have more clients, I could serve more students, I could serve students from a different time zone. All the things you were talking about were happening to me during the pandemic. And so I heard about the Jumpstart. And so I decided I need the accountability. I need that support. I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump in, because by then I felt like I knew you, like I liked you and trusted you. And I can say, you know, we had never met before. I've been coaching for you for a while now, and you were the same person. And that comes from the interaction that we have online. So I moved online, did Jumpstart, and it changed everything for me. My income, the minimum that I allow myself to do is 5,000. So that is what I hit every month. And some months I hit 7,000. It just depends. The summer was crazy. I I told you I didn't even have time to shop online. Like, it was that crazy. And so then you start figuring out what is the, you know, the best amount of hours that you can have and still do life. And so I'm at that point in my business. It's sustainable. I continue to bring in potential clients signing on. Sometimes I tell my husband, I don't want to like keep creating content, you know, on Instagram or Facebook, because I'm afraid I'll get more clients. Like, that's the point I'm at. And it seems like, how could you have that problem? But you find that you have to stay doing what we were taught in Jumpstart, continue to market yourself, because then there will be that student that steps away for whatever reason. And so that's how I went from in person to online, did Jumpstart, and just the accountability, the support, the professional development. I didn't have that. I didn't have that as an in-person tutor. I was driving after school on my own, just going, tutoring, coming home. Your community has brought me to, I mean, I'm alive and I'm full of energy. I'm energized by the type of professional development that you provide for us. And just, I think the previous guest was talking about just being able to ask people, like, how are you really doing it? Not like what sounds good, but like, what are you really doing it? Or how are you really doing it? So that's been, I moved from Jumpstart to the Insider Secret Club, and these people are serious about their business. It's not a hobby, it's what they do. And so I was a stay-at-home mom, homeschool mom for a long time. And when the pandemic hit, it was really an opportunity for me to see what seemed like a little extra income on the side to becoming a big contributor to my family. And so they have seen the growth in me, my kids. You know, it's amazing how excited your family can get when you're bringing income and you're taking trips and you're paying for it, you know, cash, and you're doing all the extras. Everyone's like rooting for you because they probably thought I was crazy and that I was going to be able to do this and sustain it. And I have, and I'm so just thankful to you, thankful to the community for the opportunity to grow. And I have grown. I wish I would have journaled every day since I, started this journey at the beginning of the pandemic, like really, really journaled what I was feeling, but it didn't take long to build a sustainable business, and I have kept it up. And I know my sons are like, why don't you get yourself a new car? Like, you can do that, Mom. You can go pay cash for it. And I'm like, no, I'm just wondering if I'm going to be able to sustain this income.
There's always that fear, isn't there?
Yes. And I have found that I have, and there are times, months that are lower because I've decided to take time off, so I've decided to take vacation time to give myself a break. And it's always a nice break for my students too, because my students stay with me year round. So I just want to honor them too, that they are, have been with me. Half of my students have been with me for a long time, and some of them need to exit, but they don't. And just today, yesterday and today, I was able to assess two of my students, one who came at a pre-K level and he was a second grader. And today I assessed him. He's reading at a third grade level. So I am so pumped up. Yes. Yes. And he's shocked. I'm shocked. Last night I got a recording and from another parent, same situation. Got his grades, language arts, an A. So this was a student that they thought would probably not be able to read, has learning disabilities. It wasn't going to happen. So yeah, this, teaching online, I actually have the ability to compare both, and we get more done. There are more resources. The kids are face to face. There's like, it's not even side to side. It's like face to face.
Yeah.
They're learning to engage, right? They're learning to engage with an adult and ask questions and ask for clarification. Oh, there's so much. Okay, I'm gonna just stop because
I love it. I love it. No, I think it's
I'm bubbling.
fantastic. No, I love it. I love it. I mean, you could tell, like, you guys, can you see it from like every single person who has shared their story today, that every single one of these people has fallen in love with teaching again. Like, and I think that's so cool. And Esme, after she left the Jumpstart program, she became an Insiders Secret Clubs member. You joined at the monthly rate that we had. And then just this weekend, you decided, you know what? I am all in. I am going lifetime. What made you make that decision to go lifetime versus just like pay monthly or pay yearly?
Well, often when you sign up for anything online and they ask you if you're interested in doing lifetime, you're like, I don't know them really. Do I like them, trust them? I mean, I like their product at that time, but are they going to really be around for a while? And, I know you've been around for a while, for more than a while.
For more than a while, yes.
Yes. So I've been on both sides. I've been on the Jumpstart side, and I've been on the coaching side. And I had the opportunity to meet you and just confirm that you are who you say you are. Like, there's no surprises. One surprise, I got to do some jazzercise with you. I was like, she led jazzercise for me, and she did it for the full hour. I was like, how long was that?
Yeah, you thought it was only 30 minutes. I was like, no, that was an hour, girl. You did it for an hour.
It didn't feel like an hour, but it's I've been on both sides, so I know who you are. I know what you're like, and there's no like secrets about that you're passionate about what you do, that you want to continue doing what you do. And so I said, okay, look at the savings and look at the fact that I really do know who you are and I do trust you. And so I went to be a lifetimer. So,
Woo!
yes.
I love it. I love it. And I think, there are so many more expensive like coaching programs that are out there that don't have the kind of community that we have, or have the kind of resources and tools to really support you as you're continuing to grow your business. Some things are pertinent to some people now, and sometimes it's not. And they're like, oh, well, I have that at least in, that I can refer to when I'm ready for it. It's there for me and it's not going to go anywhere. It's because I'm a member. There it is. So I think it's awesome just to be a part of this community and be a part of what we're doing.
And if you ever sign up for anything out there for trainings, if you look at their Facebook page, people are not giving away things like they do, even in the Ultimate Support Group. From the Ultimate Support Group to your Jumpstart group to the Insiders Club. I mean, people are freely giving advice, and they're being very detailed about, when you have a problem, when you're having a technical problem, when you're having, any issues with clients. Like, people are very willing to give away the answer.
Yes.
And I've been in other not Jumpstart, but Facebook groups where nobody's really talking. Everybody's very intimidated to ask a question because nobody wants to come across as not being like an expert or not knowing. And in our community, it's okay not to know. It's okay not to know the answer. It's okay to ask the same question that we might think, oh, what a dumb question. And then we have a lot of access to people who have answered that question as well in our community, so that you can, search and get the answer. So absolutely, it's been a wonderful experience. Like you said, a love for tutoring, a love for teaching, again, that interaction with the student. It's just been such a positive experience, and having you guide us through Jumpstart and Insiders Club and keeping us abreast of what's new and things that are changing. because sometimes we think, oh, I learned it. Okay, now I know it. And then we're like, that's not working for me anymore. What's going on? And so just having your guidance, I so greatly appreciate you. I had a wonderful time getting to know you. And honestly, I felt like I already knew you.
Yeah.
So it was no different.
Yeah, I'm not going to be anybody different than who I am. So, you know, some people, if you like who I am online, you're going to like me in person. Pretty much is the way that it's going to go, because that's who I am. I'm not going to try to be somebody else that isn't me. But I think what's really cool, you guys, I haven't made the announcement yet of where we're going to be building our school. So Esme got to be one of the very first people to hear about this idea of building a school, and you guys as a community got to choose where we're going to be building our school. So Haiti was number one. However, I was chatting with the company yesterday, and unfortunately, Haiti is under political turmoil. It's not safe for people to visit there, and their exchange rate is out of this world. So what used to be $40,000 to build a school is now going to cost $80,000. We could build 2 schools in your second choice, for the same price. So we are going with, are you guys ready? Second drum roll here. I'm a terrible drum roller. I gotta stop doing that. I need like a little app that I go like this. And there's like an actual drum roll. All right, you guys, make up your own drum roll inside of your head. We are going to Guatemala. We are building a school in Guatemala, and it is going to be amazing. And I can't tell you how stoked and excited and supportive the organization we're going with is. Build On, just so you guys know, Build On is the organization that we're choosing to build the school with. Build On also does have local things to support communities with literacy and job support and all of those kinds of things. However, because we are an international audience, I felt like for me to focus on something just in the United States wouldn't really fit who we are as a group. And not only that, I was being called to build a school. So here we are. We're going to build a school, you guys, in Guatemala, and it all starts tomorrow. Anybody who subscribes to this channel who is not already subscribed, and anybody who joins our ultimate support group for online tutors in Facebook, every single one of those is going to turn into $1 of my own money that I'm going to donate towards the cause. So you guys tell people about this community. Tell them, come join us. If you're even thinking about online tutoring, come and join, because not only are you going to be supporting them in their journey, but you're also going to be helping to build a school. And I know sometimes in the beginning, we don't have a lot of money in our business in order to be able to give. And so that's why I wanted to make it really super simple for you guys, because here's the thing, when we're not charging what we're worth, we can't make a big difference. We think we're making a big difference by charging a little bit for our services and working with the lowest, the poorest of communities for our tutoring services. But we're professionals, right? And professionals need to charge a professional rate. So now that I'm charging a professional rate, I can give big, right? And that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to think about all the other ways that you can serve and you can give big. And it can be local organizations where you can help kids, and you could do some volunteer work if you wanted to. But I think it's really important for us to know that we're going to be able to do this, you guys. $36,000 is all it takes. If we have 10,000 people in our community right now, actually we have about like 16,000 people, like between Facebook and YouTube, and there's a little bit of overlap. If you guys invite one person to come and join that doubles the amount of people. If every person donates $1, that would be $16,000. And then for every person that you bring on in, if every person brings in one person, that's 16,000 people, right? So that's another $16,000 that I donate, right? And then those 16,000 people could donate, and that more than takes care of the cost of building the school. And I think it's awesome. When I was sharing the vision with Build On yesterday of what we had, they said, oh my gosh, I see that you guys are going to be able to build even more than one school with your community.
Wow.
I'm like, you never know. That may be what we end up doing, right? We may end up building 2 schools and choosing 2 different locations. But for now, we'll stick with our goal of 1 school in Guatemala, and let's do this, you guys. You guys are an amazing community. Thank you for being who you guys are. Thank you, Esme, for all of the support that you give our Jumpstarters inside of the program. For anyone who is in Jumpstart that hasn't joined the Insiders yet or is on the fence about joining Insiders, what would you say, Esme?
Well, I'm going to speak from what I've heard from the Jumpstarters as they move. First of all, Jumpstart, absolutely do it. You're going to get your money back immediately, just with 1 client when you look at it. And then not only that, but I found that Jumpstarters, when Jumpstart was over, were feeling really lonely again.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I don't like this feeling. I remember specifically someone who was like, are we going to do anything else? What's next? Right. And it is. It's a support. It's not just like that membership that you get be part of a professional organization. No, like this is for you.
Right.
It's very personalized. You get to hear from Joanne. You get to be on live calls with Joanne. You get to ask questions of Joanne and she answers them on the spot. Okay. This is all part of the mastermind, the Insiders Club. And then in the Insiders Club, there is a mastermind and we meet weekly. I lead the Instagram mastermind and we talk about and we co-work to create content for our Instagram. And there's a blogging one and there is a video one. I mean, those are the tools that we need to be online, to be marketing ourselves. So why would you not do it? You can go around, a lot of people go around and they're searching for someone online to coach them. But here you don't just get you, but you get the community. Mm-hmm. And the community has a lot to give.
The community has a lot to give and they love supporting each other. So if you guys want to continue to be supported, if you're in Jumpstart now, if you haven't joined Jumpstart yet and you're just in the beginning stages of your business, definitely join Jumpstart. We're going to be opening up again in October in a couple of weeks, and then join Insiders. And if you're in Jumpstart now, join Insiders.
Absolutely.
Woo! Well, awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We had some amazing stories we got to share. You got to hear the stories of 4 of our tutors who've been through Jumpstart and have moved on into the Insider Secrets Club, and they have 4- and 5-figure businesses. So keep it up, you guys. You're doing amazing. And thank you, Esme, for joining